Welcome back, everybody. So many games for the time. My name is Joachim. We're playing Fractal. Last part, we are in the final cycle. At the end of the cycle, we will do the scoring, and then we'll find out who is going to win the game. At the moment, I am at 2, 3, 5, 9, 10 points. Delvarar is at 4 points. Well, technically 6 points here. And Boroka is at 3 points. So I'm in a pretty good lead, but these ones are 2 points now, and if you can double them up, they're 4 points. So let's just take a moment to refresh. If you want to score Imperial, of which I at the moment have 2 points. If you want to score 2 points, you need to have an Imperial colony and 3 ships on the board. Now, all my ships are on the board, the light ships, and I am controlling 1 and 2 Imperial colonies at the moment. So, and also there's one here that counts towards that score, thanks to the virtual reality technology. So I already have these 4 points, but I'll only get 3 because you max out at 5. Now they do not max out, so they can get more if they want to. Then it is a productive colony, together with having 4 territories that you control, 4 sectors. So I have 2 productive colonies here and there, because I banished one over here, and these are 3 colonies that are available, yeah. So I have 2 of them on the board, and then I need to have 8 locations, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 at the moment. So I just try to keep what I have. Then scientific, I need to have, to get the full 4 points, I need to have 2 military and 2 civil technologies, which I have because my faction leans towards science. So that's very good. So I've got that covered already. That's scientific, so I'll get the max out of that. And then we've got exploration. That means arid sectors. So I have 2 of them now. And I also need to have 2 artifacts, which I am unable to get because I only have 1. Unless one of these cards comes out that manages to give me one. But at the moment, there's none of those. So as far as I know, it's going to be impossible for me to get an artifact, which is so sad, but okay. So let's take a look. First of all, I'm going to be first player because we revealed at the end of the previous round, Delvarar was Watcher. They revealed their first card, which meant that they give it to me, yellow, because they can't give it to themselves. So that's why I'm first player. And then let's take a look at the cards that are available. We have Champion. Replace your heavy fire or planetary strike tactic with its elite version. Now, I don't have planetary strike yet, so I guess that one I could replace. So it's like half useful. The previous player moves the Living Storm, but the AIs don't do that, so it doesn't matter. Decaying Star, banish a productive sector you control to gain 1 credit. Each player, including yourself, that removed units or colonies as a result gains 1 influence. Of course, I'm not going to do that because it's one of the requirements, getting a productive one. So I'm not going to explode it. That would make no sense. Because it's banished. Even the colony itself will be gone, so I can't even rebuild it. Rift, banish a sector, except starting a Utopian with at least 4 of your units, gain 1 influence. So basically what you want to do there is just bunch up with a bunch of people and then blow it up. Yeah, something like that. So you can't do the Utopian and you can't do a starting sector, but anything else you can just blow up. Corrupted Patents, banish the top card from a technology slot of your choice. Then place 2 science on that slot and reveal any face down technology. Now that is something I can do, because on my turn, I can check the content of any face-down technology card. So let's say this is gone, then I could check what this is. Or I can use this to banish this, reveal it, and immediately put some science on it. That's possible. But remember, science for me is really good, because every time I do science, I get 2 influence, which then feeds my power, my government power, to put out more units. So finally, let's take a look at the research that's still available. Teleportation matrix, your ships ignore pin down, which is really nice. I might go for that. Then here you can colonize 1 non-habitable sector with a production. That's useless for me now because I no longer have any production here. And normally we fight at the end of the round. So even if they take over one of my colonies, it's going to be too late. So that's useless. But then again, it would work with corrupted patents. Then here we have virtual reality, which I already have. You can place 2 things on it, but it's useless for me. Then we have the military science. So we have prismatic deflectors. Discard a tactic to force the other players in the battle to discard a tactic with the same name. Yeah, that's only so-so for me, to be honest. That's much better with real players. So then we have fusion teleporters. Swap the position of your units on the board as much as you want, then perform 1 movement order. That can be huge if I want to get one of these done, or maybe save some of my ships. Because I'm going to want to bring out all this so I can put my light ships in a safe spot so they don't get destroyed, so I can score Imperial. Plasma weaponry is hugely important. I really want that because it lowers the initiative of your tactics by 2, a minimum of 0. Basically, you can almost always shoot first, which is huge. And then here, this one I already have 3 invested, is the EG0 defense grid. So you can block 1 skull or 1 target each battle turn, which is also pretty big, especially since all my infantry already has resist 1. So they can take 2 hits before they die. Well, they die on the second hit. So with that added to that, it's even better. Okay, so I think that's enough of the overview. So I'm going to start my first turn. I already did the income. We already did everything else last time. So I have 7 credits. So first things first. I have the Imperial. I have the ships. So I don't have to worry about that. I have the locations. I have the money. I don't have to worry about that. I have the science. Actually, I don't have to worry about anything. The only thing that I should try to get is this one, which at the moment I can. So I'm going to, first action is I'm going to play a card, because I can play 3 cards, by the way, because of my upgrade. So banish the top card from my technology. I will banish the robo mining outposts. That also makes it more difficult for them to get this and unlock their special abilities. So that's another good thing. So that's banished. This one is revealed. It's a genome manipulation. For each condition you fulfill on the objectives, gain 1 extra point. Wow, that is, of course, huge. But definitely something I do not need at the moment. Because I feel like I'm winning anyway, but we'll see. But this, the victory would be explosion, out of the water. Okay, so that's done. Then I will do research. That will cost me 1. Research means I can put down 4. And even though I like the EG0 defense grid, I like plasma weaponry the best out of everything. So I'm going to put 4 on here and hopefully be able to research it next turn. And I get 2 influence because of that. And that's immediately my first turn done. So then it is Delverar with their first action. So first they will move the Living Storm closest to them to the left or up. So they are here now. So it's going to be this one to the left or up, and it has to be like this then. Or I guess they'll do like this, so they're more defended from those troops over there. And then they will do, they will colonize, but there's no place to colonize, so that's not going to happen. So they will move and they will do victory move. So victory move means, are they controlling the utopian sector? They are not. So move to the utopian sector, which they can, and it is, they'll move 3 ships 1 spot. So basically they're going to put all their ships there. So 1, 2, and then this one as well. All right. They'll leave that one behind for, like, it just says units. Last time we did it, they took these with them, right? So, but like I said, I try to choose logical options for the AI. I don't think we're very good for them to leave their 1 colony undefended. So I'm going to leave 1 guy there. Okay, so that's done. So the second action is they lose 1 influence, so they're down to 9. Okay, so they will then take the second card. Oh, I forgot to reveal the new card. Imperial Service, remove 1 of your units from the board to gain 2 influence. That's not really useful for me. So they destroy the decaying star, well, they use it, but they don't use it. And then they will do their action. So they don't have any cards there. So they will take one of these and place it on an empty spot closest to them, which is here. And then they'll do one movement to move there. Now, these ones, they cannot go because they already moved this turn. They're stuck. So they don't actually have they can move this guy. I guess I'll move this guy then. No, they can't even reach it. We'll say, then move one to the nearest sector within, so it's not possible. And once again, I don't think they would because they're occupying my space here, which is something that we're trying to score as well. So there's no reason for them to leave there to try to get it. So yeah, that's done. Then that's their turn. So just double check, they should have 7 cards. So it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, that's correct. Okay, Boroka then with their first card. To make some space here. Okay, so first of all, they remove their living storm closest to themselves, down or left. So that's going to be this one, down or left, and it has to be horizontal. So I think down or left. So it's going to be like this, horizontal, so like this. Yeah. Okay. Then they will do victory as well. They will recruit, and victory recruit means add units to besieged Automa colony, which they do not have, or if there's none, to the colony closest to the utopian sector. And they will get a mech and a ship closest to the utopian sector. That will be here, where they actually have a victory point. Actually, that victory point, they should have gotten it, right? They should have got it. Because each player controlling these sectors may claim their victory point. Yeah, so they have this, so they claim this. All right, so they put their units there. Then they will move towards here. So obviously it'll be the ones they can make it. So they will move in. They will move in up there. Because it says you don't control it, move to the utopian sector. They're closest to it. Everything else will either get stuck or be more difficult. So that makes the most sense. All right. Then their second action, they will lose 1 influence and they will take the 4th card. So the Imperial Service that I said was useless for us is now gone. And then they still don't have the most influence. So they will inflict 1 damage in each contested sectors with 2 of their units. So it's only 1 sector here. They do 1 damage. They have 2 options. So we check the order and it'll be me that they hit. So this guy is now like this. Okay. Yeah, that's done. And then they gain 1 influence again, back up to 5. All right, that's their turn. My turn then. So nothing much has changed. Like I am here, but I don't really want to be there. So the first thing I'm going to do is do research again, which will give me 2 influence. I'll do that now. So I'm at 9. I can put 4. So I'll put 3 here. So I finished that. And 1 I'm going to put on your ship's ignore pin down. Because I want to be able to put a ship here and take this guy out because I don't care about the central part now. Yeah. So, yeah. That finishes. I get this. So now my cards are -2, which is huge. There we go. And then for my second action, I don't want to... Do I want to play that card? Oh wait, they played a card, right? Because whenever they play a card, they have... they gain 1 influence. So they actually have 6 influence. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So... I still have one action to go. I think I'll just do my second card. Although it doesn't seem very useful. I'm going to recruit for 1 and put, I think 2 mechs out, because I want to protect the areas that I need to score, like here, for example. And also remember, when I lose a mech, I replace it with another one. No? Didn't I research that? I seem to remember that. No, I didn't research that in the end, apparently. No, it was banished, I guess. Oh, I didn't research it. Oh, shoot. Anyway, mechs are still good. So those are over there. So that's my action then. That's done. So then is Delverar. They move the lightning storm closest to themselves, up or right, or upright-ish, and has to be like this again then. Basically goes back to the same thing. Then they will produce expansion-wise. So expansion should be the colony. Well, they only have 1 colony, so I don't even have to check it. So they will put 1 unit and 1 ship here. There we go. And then it says they have 1 movement. So they're going to move to wherever they can expand. So can you transport infantry to a colonizable sector? That is a no. Well, yes, here actually. Yeah, but they can't get there because they only move once. So they can't get there, so no. Can you transport sectors with an enemy colony? Yes, to an enemy colony they can. So they will do that, and they prefer to go to a military colony first, which they cannot reach. Then it is a production, which they can reach. So they're going to go to me and try to take my productive colony there. Then their second action is colonize, which obviously they can't do. So because they can't do it, they will recruit defensively, and that means besieged Automa colony, which they do not have, or if there's none, to the colony closest to the most enemy units. But at least, well, why am I even checking? They obviously can only produce here. So, boom, boom. So that's good that they recruited twice. They have more troops, increases their weight around the map. So that's good. So that's them done. Then it's Boroka. Here we go. So they do the lightning storm. They have to go up left, closest to what's their name? The Delverar. So it's going to be like this. Up now. And then they will do defensive. They will colonize. They can colonize here. So it's either science or imperial. They prefer science. So they put science out here. Because here they don't have enough units. They put science out, which means they get a artifact, which is good for their scoring because they don't have any artifacts at the moment. Havoc armor, so their available movement orders are increased by 1, which is huge, and their mechs gain the space unit ability. There we go. We actually uncovered that last time. So, yeah. It's too bad that I can't get it. So, very good for them, actually, because they can also, if they have research, they can get some really nice cards now and actually boost and get their other effects. At the moment, they are at 4. So, yeah. Okay, so that's that move done. Then they will take the second card. So, the second card was already a face down card, and it was actually the naval tradition: add 1 ship to every sector with at least 2 of your ships. That would have been nice. Anyway, do the second card, and then do that action. They have 6 influence at the moment, but we both have more than them, so they do the left again. So they're going to be damaging people here again. And it's me again, so they actually kill my veteran guy. So this one, he actually goes back to my pool. I can put him back out. So that's nice that they don't just disappear forever. But yeah, I no longer have any stakes there because they took me out and they are not in any encounter anywhere else with other people. So that's it. Okay. Then they gain 1 influence. There you go, so they're at 7, and that is the end of their turn. It's my turn. I will once again do research. and maximize my influence. So I can put 4. So I'm at 5 now with the pin down one. And then I will recruit again. I will put out a warship, put it here for added defense. And that's my turn. So then it's Delverar. They move the lightning storm closest to me down right. So both of the ones that are close to me, they can't even use that. So it would be closest to red, then Boroka. So it'd be this one down right. So once again, it moves to where it came from. It's always just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Then they do expansion, but they are nowhere where they can expand. So they ignore that. So they will once again recruit. So yeah. They're getting all their stuff out though, and they can actually recruit one more time. Then they're going to be stuck again. So the second one is then they will do the 4th card. So the card that was actually hidden was Broken Legends. Replicate the effect of a face-up action card played by another card player this turn, or whatever. So they will do the left again. So they'll put another card out on an empty sector, so closest to them. So it'll be here. And then they'll do a move. So it has to be one of these ships. So it'll go here. And then they will take this. Sadly, they don't have a power like whenever you remove something. Oh, they do. No, they don't. Just place it here. Yeah. So they have 1. There again. Okay. So that is the end of their turn. Yes. And then we have Boroka. So they move the Living Storm. Basically, what they're going to do is they're going to make their route to it easier, or they're going to try to block other people from getting there. So I think they will move this one like this. So it's more difficult for Delverar to go there, myself included, actually, a little bit. So they do that, and then they will colonize. Now, this time they have nowhere to colonize, so they can't do that. Then they will produce units. They can. It's a mech and a ship. They have enough. And it's expansive, sorry. So closest to the most colonies, it may invade or colonize. So I think it'll be this one because it has 1 and 2. This one also has 2. That one also has 2. So I guess there's multiple ones that would apply, but this one actually has a place to colonize and invade. So I think that has that's juicier. Okay, so then they will do the next one. They will do military research. So they have 7. So they'll just do the leftmost one. So discard a tactic to force the other players in the battle to discard one of the same, but it doesn't really matter. They add this, but now they have 12. So when they attack, they'll be able to do any extra technologies that effect that's on their card. So that's done. That's the end of their turn. Yeah. There we go. Then it's my turn again. Once again, I'll do research. Put 4 out. So this is at 5. So I flip this. So it's 7. So I've spent 2. I can still spend 2. So I think I'll put these 2 here on the defense grid. But I finished this one. So my ships now ignore pin down, which I think is pretty important. There we go. All right. Then I have one more thing to do. I'll play my second card. So I replace my Planetary Strike with its elite version. So Planetary Strike, here we go. Especially since I have 2 warships out. This is as good a time as any. So remove Planetary Strike from there. And then a new card comes out. Please give me one where I can get an artifact. Banish 1 of those locations from a sector with your units gain 1 influence. No, no luck. No luck. That's the end of my turn. So I'll flip this to red, so I know I have 1 more card to go. Okay, Delverar again. So they will move it so they have a better access, and also try to stop other people from getting access at the same time. So they will just do this again, up, so it protects them and stops them from sending some units there. Then they will colonize, which they can't do. So they will once again produce units in their section here. And then they will get 1 influence, or they're back at 10. And they will do the 3rd card. So Rift is gone. And then they'll put out another one of these cards and then move. So to a space closest to them. Now, this one is stuck. So, well, we have to just see closest to them, right? So it doesn't really matter all that much. So I think this is now closest to their units and it's empty. So it's going to be here. I don't see any other empty. And then they would move toward, move 1 to the nearest sector with 1. So actually this one can go there. So that's what they do. Go here. They take this because it's not pinned down. So the next time they activate it, they will get another artifact. Okay. So, all right, they're done. Boroka. The lightning storm moves closest to Delverar. It goes right and up, which is not possible to do because it has to be horizontal. Well, I guess it can go right. Yeah, it can go right like this. Okay. Then they will do expansion. They will produce units. So a ship here again, closest to the places that can take over. So it'll be this one, this one. There we go. And then move once. So basically, you can use transport infantries to a colonizable sector with automata infantry. They can move 3 of them. They can move 3 spots. So they have these guys here. So they could do like this. 1, 2, because they don't get stopped here. And then they would be able to build here. So yeah, that's perfectly fine. So that's the only place where they can actually build anything. Everywhere else is no longer possible. So then we have the second one. They will do, again, military research. So they'll take this one. So they now have a lot of military research. And then they'll move once towards the center. But they already have control there. So they're not going to move there. Instead, actually, I think in the past I moved those blue ones wrong because they had total domination. They should have probably sent 1 ship somewhere else instead of there. Yeah. Okay, so basically victory, but only 1 move. Are they controlling the automata, the utopian sector? Yes. So they're going to try to score a different way, and that would be the arid locations for Boroka, which they control none of. So they will try to go to arid. So there's 3 of them. And these guys can move. These guys can not move. Well, this one can move, but the other ones can't. And these ones can move too. There's only 1. And I guess it should be closest. So this one is going to come with the units here. Come on. There's a downside, of course, for Delverar. The 1 colony they have left is on a target that scores. So it's tempting for others to go there. So that's done. Okay, I'm almost done as well. I'm going to activate my government so I can place these 2 units back on the board. I'm going to put my veteran here for protection purposes and my other ground troop here for protection purposes. This one's supposed to stand up, by the way, because it's from the last time, all of these. Okay, so that's done. So I have one more action. I'll do research again, because that is what I'm good at in the end. So this is 5. So that becomes 7. I have 2 left. Yeah, I won't be able to do anything there though. So I have 2 left, so this becomes 3, whatever. So this is then done. I can also now block damage when I fight. There we go. That's the end of my turn. Delverar. So they will move the storm closest to me, right or down, which is once again not possible because all these are locked. So it'll be closest to red, right, down. So it'll go like this. There we go. And then it will colonize, but there's nothing to colonize anywhere. So they will instead produce units, which they cannot because they don't have ships. So they don't do that either. So if they don't do that, they will move, and it's expansive. So obviously they cannot, well, add, can you transport infantry to colonizable sector without automata infantry? Yes, they can go here. So that's what they're going to do. So there'll be 1 move, but they can't colonize yet. They'll move again. Now they'll be able to colonize because they've got 2, 4, 5. They have control over that. So that was their move. And then secondly, they will lose 1 influence and do the first card. So basically I can no longer do the other card thing. And they remove their 2 cards, once again banished, and they'll get an artifact. Whenever you play an action card face down, gain 1 extra influence or science. That doesn't apply to them, so that is ignored. So a new one. Add 3 black to a sector with your colonies. These units gain the veteran ability, so that's really good for them. So they get a bunch of more people to defend. Yeah, those are the powerful ones, I feel. More units is always better. And then that's done for them. Then it's Boroka. So the game is almost over. The Living Storm will move as mine. They'll go right or down. Well, once again, the Living Storms here are stuck. So then we'll look closer to themselves, and it will go right or down, which is also not possible because it's here. So none of the storms can move because they cannot go right or down. So we can ignore that. Then they will do victory. First of all, they'll try to colonize. They would have been able to, but Delvar kind of spoiled that for them. So instead of that, they will just do victory. So they're going to go to the central part, a movement, so they can move 3 ships, 3 space units. Now these are pinned down. They can't move. Here one can move. Here one can move. So they'll take a ship and a mech, ship and 2 mechs because they move their units. But actually they have a ship here, so I think it's better for them to leave it here. So now they already control it because they have 2, 4, 6 against 5. So this one is going to go to try to go to an arid sector, which it can actually reach. That would be 1, 2, 3. Because that's second on the requirement, trying to get that. The sectors. Because they don't talk about colonies on the victory card. They just say, move to a sector required for scoring. Following this priority, mystery, biodiverse, and arid. So they go to arid, since it's required there. Okay, so then their second action is they will do a civic research, which is huge. So they'll take, I always say they take the leftmost, but normally I get to choose. But I mean, let's see. Let's do the flip. We've been doing the flip, right? If it's 1, they get this. If it's 3, they get this. So, boom. Okay, so I lose out. So these 4 go away. I don't get it, but they get +7. So now suddenly they have 11. And because they have 11, they activate everything else. So they draw a artifact, which is good because then they can score that as well, and apply the effects. If it doesn't apply, upgrade a tactic instead. So it says add 2 black max to a sector with your colonies. These units gain the support 1 ability. That's pretty huge. To a sector with your colonies, at the moment they are defensive, so they're going to put it wherever they get sieged. So this goes here, where there's enemy units, I mean. So I have to remember, both of them now have black. So I can't really put green out because then it'll be confusing with my green units. So that's why you see if multiple people have black, it's a bit more confusing, but I'll just put them near the red unit so I remember. Okay, so they get that. But it's not the only thing, because they have 9 as well. When you perform a movement order, your ships ignore pin down. So from now on, red is no longer pinned down, which is huge. So that's done. That's their turn. Yes, that's their turn. So my turn then. So this is done. I have no more money, so whatever I do now, I'm going to have to pay for, but I have 10, so I don't have to worry about that. There's no requirement here to pay, so that's also fine. So they still have 1 turn. They're going to be Watcher for sure, because of their artifact. So I just need to make sure I keep my locations. And also make sure my ships are not in a fight, which at the moment they are not. Because these guys, they just keep fighting each other, like completely ignored me again. Which I don't mind, you know? You guys just keep focusing on. I mean, there was 1 ship here, but it's not attacking my ships, so these are safe. These ones are pretty safe as well. My money places are safe as well. Do I have 8 locations? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You have 10, so that's fine. Science I got. I just don't have the artifacts, but there's no way to get it. So in that case, I will just, I'm not even going to research. I'll recruit, very expensive, just for just 1 of these guys. But I will put him here for added defense. And then actually, no, because I was going to say I'm going to pass so to get the Watcher token, but they're going to take it, so it doesn't matter. And I guess I'll advance. Let's see. I'll move this one with the 2 units here, just pure for protection. So that's 1 space unit. I can still do 3 more. I'll put these 2 over here as well. That's the second move. And these 2 here, that's the third move. I think I've got more than enough protection now. My military is at 4, so maybe I can move 1 more time. Maybe I should try to take over something just to get the points. So these guys, I'm going to do 1, 2. Yeah, 1, 2. And then it'll be enough to take that over. That'll give me 1 point, and then I'm done. All right, so that's me. Let's see what they do. Their last turn. So they get the Watcher token for sure. So they move the storm closest to them to the left or down. They are blue. So this one's closest to them, left, down, so like this. And then they will be aggressive. They will colonize, but there's nothing to colonize. So they will move, do a movement action. So 3 units can move once. And if units can move once, and it's aggressive. So, are there enemy colonies not under the automata's control in range? Yeah, many of them. Move to the closest enemy colony only if you can transport at least one ground unit. So, this one's pinned down. These three are pinned down. That one's pinned down. This one's pinned down. This is the only one that's not pinned down, but it can't transport. So basically, no, they can't transport whatsoever. So that's a no. Are there enemy units in range? Yes. Move to reinforced contested sectors not under the automata control. So it's going to be one of these three sectors. So then we look at the priority, and that would be a production one. But it can't reach it because it only has one, so we ignore it. Then it has to be Imperial, so they'll go back to their home base to help protect it. Oh wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They actually have control, so that doesn't apply. This is actually a production one, so they'll put it here. So now it's 6 against 6, so nobody can produce there. And then they have expansive. They lose one. They produce another card, so this goes away. It was Galactic Observation. Perform 2 insight on components placed on sector tiles only, or move 2 storms, gain 1 influence, but it doesn't matter. So they do that. So they do their action again over there, which is kind of useless at this point of the game for them. They'll just put out another one of these in an empty sector and then move there. But they cannot move there because they're pinned down everywhere. So this goes here, so nothing really happens then. So that was their last turn. They're the Watcher now. And then it is Boroka. They move the Storm down and right, closest to me, but once again, that doesn't work. So close, nothing can go down and right. Yes, nothing can go down and right, so no matter that, no, don't worry about that. So then they can colonize. They would have been able to, but now Delverar blocked them, and so nothing happens there. They will move aggressively. So they'll move aggressively. So basically add units to the automata. Sorry, are there enemy colonies not under the automata's control in range? Yes, there are multiple ones. Move to the closest enemy colony only if you can take a unit with you. Now remember, they are not pinned down, so they can just go. And they can move 3 units, 3 spots away. So apparently they will go for production colonies first if they can reach it, because they prefer that at the moment. Now, logically speaking, they want to have this because it scores points. Here, in this case, they can still banish a sector at the end. And that might give them some points, but it's not going to be huge, I feel. But I guess they won't leave there. So I think they'll leave from here. So I think one ship with 2 of these mechs will go to a colony closest, because remember they can go 3 and they're not pinned down, so they can just fly through. And they'll go for a production one if they can reach it. And they can, because they can do... Oh, crap. Which is bad news for me. They can do 1, 2, 3 and come here. Because they say, are there enemy colonies not under the automata's control and range? Yes. It says move to the closest though, but they are the same distance. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And I think it's more logical for them to come here because there's no protection and I can't even do anything about it. So I will for sure lose that, and I will for sure score productivity less. So they successfully took points away from me with that move because I left it undefended, which is really stupid, to be honest. So this one stays here. They might lose this colony, but it doesn't score, so it doesn't matter. They could move more, but like I said, following the idea of what they want to do, it makes sense that they would stay there instead of leaving. Yeah, I do think so. All right. So because they wouldn't leave an area where they wouldn't give up control just to go somewhere else, I feel. Okay, then next there's defensive, but once again to do military technology, there's nothing left, so nothing happens. In that case, they just move once. But nothing's gonna move because everything is where it's supposed to be. So in that case, they move again, but they don't move. So in that case, they produce according to defensive, they will produce where they are being besieged, which is here and there, but they already have something there, so they put it here. So they're going to put up a fight to try to defend that colony. Okay, that was them, right? Yeah. So I already, well, it's still my turn. I can still play a card. I can still colonize or research, but research doesn't give me anything. Colonize I can't do. So the only thing I can do is play a card, which I'll then play face down. That gives me one insight, which is useless, and one influence, which is useless. So basically my turn is over as well, and we can fight. It's the final countdown. The final showdown is better, actually. So the Watcher, first of all, recreates a ground troop or a ship for free. So they'll produce a ground troop. And the last one that they had was expansive. So they only have one colony. It doesn't matter. So I put it here. And then they will we will place battle medals everywhere that we're fighting. Okay, so we're going to be fighting here, which will be a very short fight. Here, 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 and here. Yes, that's it. Okay, so place battle medals is done. And then we do resolve battles and do sieges and so on. So basically, before we do anything, I do have the start of the conflict phase here. Inflict 2 retreat to enemy units in 2 different contested sectors with your colonies. So actually, I can make them run away, but they do have the support ability. And is that the one where they don't run away? Oh no, they can actually be counted as infantries or light ships or tactic cards. So actually I can make 2 of these run away. Inflict 2 retreat to enemy units in 2 different contested sectors with my colonies. So I'm going to make, that way I can protect, obviously I'm going to make them run away. So I'll make them go here. They'll still win the battle eventually, but they won't be able to take over my colony. And they wouldn't be able to anyway, because they don't have any ground infantries there. It's just mechs. But they could have destroyed it. Okay. Anyway, so, and then I can do it somewhere else, which I think I should do there, because here's just one ship. So I do it there. So these 2 effectively also run away. They have nowhere to run away to, so they're destroyed. Yeah. Okay, so that's done. I don't think there's anything else that I can do at the start or whatever. Yeah, no, that's it. So then we can finally start. So we'll do this first. Boroka wins. They get their second medal here, but because they only have 1 unit, it's not enough to destroy this. So there's nothing they can do there. Is there anywhere else where we have a fight where there's only 1 unit? Not that I can tell. Everywhere else, there's always, well, here, I'm the only one here left, so I win. I guess add it to my pile. But it doesn't give any military points because it's not raised or whatever. So they are the Watcher. So they're going to see what is being done first. So they will, the red ones will fight against me first. So we'll do this one first then. It's basically here first, and then that's it. Then we'll move on. So we'll do this one first. So I have a ship and a ground troop. So a light ship and a ground troop. So anything with those 2 I can keep. So not these 2. Yes, 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 and yes. Okay, so these two. And then they have to shuffle their cards. And then we'll see who's going to win. So obviously, I want to win without any losses, so I can take it over and get a military point. But they're not just going to give it up. So, okay. So they'll be here. I'll be next to it. So they have a ship, and I have everything for me is -2, by the way. So I think I'll do flanking, because flanking -2 is just 1. So then I hope that they don't have defense, because if they have defense, that would be annoying. So the top ones, they can't do. So the bottom ones, which is only 4, even though they do everything, I just have to make sure that the ones that are there are gone, which I think will be fine, because I don't have EMP drones, do I? No. But I can block 1 damage. But yeah, even then. Well, yeah, my ship will just do 2 damage to them. And then they're dead. Because they have no defense or no resist or anything else. So my ship shoots. It's initiative 1. So it destroys both of them. They're gone. Because they don't get to shoot, they're only at 4. So then I destroy this. I raise it. So it goes here. And I get my 5th point for military. And another medal. Okay. So this is them. We'll put it here for now. I can take this back in my hand. And then we will do the next one. I think we'll just go up like this. So it doesn't really matter. So now it's basically, or I'll just do all my fights first and then we'll do them. So I have to fight here against Delverar, who has 1 ship. And I have every unit. I have a mech, I have a warship, I have light ships, I have ground units, I have everything. They just have 1 ship. So, because they only have 1 ship, I just to make sure I go first. So, I'm going to do a planetary strike, which is at 1. But thanks to my upgrade, it's at 0. So, let's see. Okay, are there 2 ground troops? There are 2 ground troops. So, they will have defense, but the defense is at 1. So actually I get to shoot first. And they can't do anything about it. Yeah. So I get to shoot first with my warship. So I was just destroyed. Oh, wait, no. I might not be able to use Planetary Strike, because since we're fighting there, I have to randomly discard 2 cards. So we'll do the battle again. Has to be correct, because I forgot it the last time around. So these 2 are gone. So it's ground assault and retreat. So in that case, I could have still gone for planetary strike. So we'll just keep it as it was. Okay. So it's done. I get this. And then that's it for my battles. I am completely done. So then it is Delverar versus Boroka. And Delverar has, when you reveal a tactic with the same initiative as another player, resolve your card first. So it's not the name, it has to be the same initiative. And that's the only thing that they have that's pertinent there. And here it doesn't really matter. Oh, yeah, this could have flown away as well, but yeah, it is what it is. All right, we'll fight here first. It's a mech against a blue ship, so we'll see. So first, they will do ground assault. The bottom one, they can't do the top one. They'll just do defense, basically. And then they'll do flanking, because they do have 1 ship. Even though arguably it doesn't make much sense, because they're going to blow their ship up to destroy the mech. And it's like, why? But okay, they can't take the colony anyway. So their defense happens at 0, but they're going to blow up their ship and do 3 damage. but then their defense can block 1 damage, but then there's 2 damage remaining. So this one's destroyed, and they win a medal. But they cannot burn down this because they need to have strength of 2 and only strength of 1. So then we'll do the middle, which is a bunch of stuff. So Delverar, which is not the first thing they played. Yeah. So they'll do orbital assaults because they have 2 ships there. And then they will do orbital defense. So let's first see. Orbital defense they can do because Delverar has 2 ships, so they'll do the top, which is 0, and they block a lot of stuff. Elite here, orbital assault, I mean, they have 2, and they'll have a hit before card resolution. So they can already hit 1, and they will hit the mech first, apparently, going to priority. So this one lies down. And then they do the actual attack, which is 2 hits, but they are both blocked. And then the attacker suffers 2 retreats, which the attacker chooses. So they're going to retreat 2 ships. And luckily for them, they can retreat here. They'll take this away, even though it doesn't really do anything, honestly. At the moment, it's too late for that. All right, so then the second round. For Boroka, they'll do ground defense this time, which once again applies because there's 2 ground units. So they're all about defending. And they'll do planetary strike, which is what they can do. So basically they have initiative 4 and they have initiative 1, but they block a lot of stuff. They block 2 retreats, 2 skulls, and 1 hit. And they can do, I think they'll choose for 3 hits. They'll blow up 1 ship, but they'll be able to hit 3 times, of which they can only block once. Everything else they can block too much. So 1 ship is blown up, and then 3 of them hit them. So, sorry, no. 2 of them hit them, and 1 of them has to run away. So they make one of their ships run away according to their order. And then 2 of them get hits, and they'll hit 1 here and 1 lies down, because that's the order that they're attacking. So they want to get the mechs out, apparently, really badly. So that's done. Then Boroka will go for flanking because they have 3 ships, which is a level 2. While they are going for a ground assault, which is initiative 3. But because of, oh no, they don't have enough research. They can't do that. They can do this. They'll do 1 skull before card resolution, but they get to hit anyway. So 1 of them dies, and then they get to hit before them, so the other one dies too. So Boroka survives and gets another medal. So they're here, which will allow them to banish one of their sectors. So hopefully it'll be something that actually has an effect on them, which I think might, we'll see. So that's done. Then they will fight here, same guys against the same guys again. So Boroka will do orbital assaults because they have enough ships. Delverar will do orbital defense because the opponent has enough ships to defend it against. So orbital defense is 0, and this one is 1, but they do get to do 1 skull before card resolution. So they will put it on their mechs, but they don't have mechs, so put it on their ship. So the 1 ship they have, they destroy. Okay, makes sense, I guess. And then their defense happens first. So they will attack with 1 hit only. 1 hit is blocked, so they will retreat 1 unit, and they prefer their light ship to retreat, which will go over here. And then a new card. So the last card, they will do the bottom half. So they'll see what is the best option there. So it's 4. And then here, heavy fire, they can't do that. So they're also at the bottom. So, okay, this time they have the same initiative. So when it says when you have the same initiative, they resolve their card first. So they should do the maximum amount of damage. In this case, they'll just kill one of their troops and then do 3 retreats. So basically all 3 of them will run away. Thus, winning the battle for Delverar and making sure they can score that area. That's the end of the battles. It is now officially done. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. So let's continue. So there's no sieges that need to be done because all the units that are there either are not strong enough to destroy it or etc. etc. So claim medals, we did this. Gain 1 influence for each opponent with fewer battle medals than you. So they get 1 influence because they have more than them. And then Utopian rewards, so they get to banish a colony, and it should be it has to be non-productive, right? Yes. So they'll go for science, but they don't get the reward again. So yeah, in the end, it doesn't really matter. Because even if they did get the reward, they already have everything they need. It would have been reduce the cost of development. That doesn't really apply to them. Reducing the cost for military technologies. Replace your orbital assault tactic with its elite version. If you already did it, do another one. So yeah, it wouldn't have made any difference anyway. So then clean up, not really necessary. Deletion upkeep, I do have to pay that. So that's 4. So I'm down to 6. And then determine the first player, which doesn't really matter at this point. Advanced cycle marker, so we do the scoring. So the end game scoring. So let's look at me first. The Imperial locations, I still have both. Do I have 6 ships on the board? I do, because they didn't see any action. So I get 4 points for Imperial, but I already had 2. So I max out at 5. Then let's take a look at Delverar. They do have 1, and they do have 3 ships. So they get 2 points for that. So they are at 6. And then Boroka, they have 1 as well. They also have 3 ships out. So just 1. Yeah, so they'll also get 2 points. So they're also at 5. Then the next one is production and 4 locations. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I have 2 productions. So that is 4 points for production. So that puts me on 5. Then for Delverar, nothing because they don't control any production. For them, Boroka, they have 1. Yeah, 1. And they also have more than 4 locations. Well, actually, I have 5. Yeah. 6, actually. So they score 2 points again. So they're at 7. Then it is scientific, basically 2 of each. So they get nothing. They get 4 points. So they're at 11. So I'll put this token here to signify that they went over 10. Well, I'll just put their own. They're at 10, so 11. Myself, I have a 2, so that's 4 points for scientific. So I already had 2, so it's just up to 5. And the final one is the arid combined with artifacts. So Delverar has arid, they have artifacts, so it's another 2 points. So that's 8 points. Then for them, they don't have arid, so they score nothing. I have 2 arids, I have only 1, so I scored 2 points for exploration. So that puts me up to 3. And that's the end of the game. So I have 5, 10, 15, 20, 23 points. Boroka, who started off weak, but then kind of got better, a lot better, ends with 12. And Delverar has, after struggling a long time, has 10 points. So I made a bunch of mistakes because there's so much stuff to always keep track of with these AIs, and so much is like you have to keep in mind, like, okay, what makes more sense? What should they do? I can play against the AI where they're actually ganging up on me, where they don't attack each other and they just attack me. I guess that would make a much more difficult game if I do it like that. Might be easier also to determine what they do in that case. And I think maybe it's also going to be a lot more difficult because now I played on hard most of the game, I guess, because I made some mistakes. But you can also play on impossible, which is 6 AI protocols and 2 elite tactics. So they start off with 6. So they start off with a couple of extra turns, basically. Because if they start with 6, 1 will be discarded. So they actually have 10 actions. While I most likely will start with 3 credits, which basically are like 3 credits plus a government action plus 2 cards. So that's actually 6 actions that I can do before I have to start paying, while they have 10. In this case, they had 8 at the start instead of the amount I just said. Also, this is a smaller map, so it's a lot more fighting. And I wonder if they'd be stronger if the map is bigger. Maybe. Because I played multiple times now, but I always win by a landslide. Now, if I play with real people, however, I do not win by a landslide. Actually, I lost last time because I made a stupid mistake, tactical mistake. So yeah, I really, really like this game. It's a bit long because how much time is it now? Oh yeah, but it stopped halfway. Probably an hour again or an hour and a half. It's easily 4 to 5 hours, even with 2 automatas. I wanted to play with 3 actually, but then I have to literally print some stuff because it only comes with 2 boards. But if you just copy the cards and the board and put like paper version, then you can just play with 3. But just be even longer, of course. But with this table, of course, I can do that. But there's also other stuff I want to play. So I don't want to keep on playing this just to make videos and everything. I want to play this more with actual people because it's really interesting. And then I can also tackle the campaign, which has a lot of modules that it introduces, which is very interesting as well. But yeah, I really like it. And I think also this time things went my way a lot because I was scientific. And if you're scientific, you can really boost and take away their science possibility. Because if they cannot put science on the board and you take away the lower level cards, they'll also just continuously skip their science action. So for example, with them, it really hampered them. For them, in the end, they were able to overcome it. But here, they never got any of their special abilities. For example, when you colonize, you may place non-productive colonies in non-habitable sectors. So they could have been able to build here, for example. And then the second one is draw an artifact and apply its effect. If it doesn't apply, upgrade a tactic instead, same as there. And then at the end of the game, gain 1 extra point for each completed objective condition, which is also huge, right? So they could have gotten that as well. And then the points can ramp up faster. But I think at this point, I know this game so well. It sounds weird because I made mistakes, but the mistakes I made have more to do about trying to remember all their abilities. And I'm pretty sure with this last round, I'm not sure if they took the red ones away at one point, but if they did, they should have replaced it with their ships, which I didn't do. But I'm not sure if they did. So I don't know. But if they did, however, then I made a mistake, obviously. But yeah, so keeping track of everything is not always that easy. And so yeah, maybe I won, but maybe it's also I won because of some of those mistakes. But yeah, just the fact I know how the game works in general. Like when it's my turn, I know what to do, where to go, and everything. And I like that little puzzle. Of course, in the end, they kept fighting each other because I pushed Delverar towards them, and then they jumped on them. So basically, I made them fight each other. And yeah, I guess in the end, it was a good strategical move, but it also kind of made it too easy for me to just, you know. And in the end, because of my card, I was able to chase these guys off. Because if they take this away from me, then they would get a military point. So they would effectively be at 13. But then they would have robbed me of 2 points. It's not that much of a difference because I still have 21 points. But still, it's a little bit closer. It's the details that matter, right? I had a lot of protection. I was able to block a lot of stuff. My tactics went down. In a real player game, then they will really go for technology much faster. While here, there's a way to manipulate it. But I think that's the case with most solo opponents, you know. So that's why I think maybe it's better to play the solo mode and follow these cards, like, you know, the mindset and what they want to do, but then do the action as if you were controlling them. For example, like colonize. Okay, they don't have a lot of units. They desperately need units, or they desperately need science. Don't follow the order on the bottom of the card. Just do what makes most sense. And I think that would then make it easier. Like, for example, if you have a bunch of units here and you want to control this, then maybe take some ground troops with you, because ground troops here makes more sense now because you can colonize. And also you can banish the sectors and so on. So things like that. I think that's what I'll do going forward. Because while the solo works, I don't think it's always logical. Same with the unit priority. Like here in this battle that they kept going for the mechs. And I'm like, okay, you can take out the mechs fine, but if you take out the other units, then they'll have less cards to play and then it's more difficult to attack, right? So, but the mechs also do have the Vanguard one, and I think that means they can redirect damage to themselves, which I didn't actively do actually. So yeah, there's also that, of course. Anyway, yeah. So in general, I think I'll do a review of this at one point. Yeah. So we'll see. Anyway, this was a playthrough. There have been mistakes, like I said. I think most of them I realized while playing. But yeah, I think you get a gist of what the game works, what it's like. You can easily do a 1v1 against an AI opponent to do it faster. But I always like to have it bigger. So I really want to do solo with 3 opponents, to be honest, as well. Even though that's it's also going to be a challenge. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to stop here. My name is Joachim. There's just so many games till the time. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.